Yeah, so metabolism. So I'm gonna give you an idea here to help you understand this. Everybody has a metabolism. Everybody's metabolism is working, because otherwise you'd be dead. That's just, a lot of people don't realize, like, when we say metabolism, it's the function of keeping your body alive, the amount of energy like that's getting burnt, to keep your body functioning based on where it's at, right? And so there's maintenance calories, which is like if you ate the exact amount of calories to maintain where your body's currently at. Technically, basically impossible, but on average you can kind of hit that mark to where you don't gain or lose weight. You go above it, you're calorie surplus, so you gain weight. You go below it, you're in a calorie deficit, so you lose weight. But what happens is a lot of times people screw their metabolism up in a couple of ways. But one of the main ones that we see a lot is just when you don't eat hardly anything, right? You have a maintenance calorie amount that's like, let's just example, right? Your maintenance calories are 2,500 calories. Instead of dropping your calories slowly over time and maximizing the amount of weight loss that you can get at each interval or each section of calories that you lower, like basically look at it like this, like it's like a ladder, like maintenance calories. Cool, I dropped 350, lose as much weight as possible as I can until metabolic adaptation happens, squeeze it out as much as I can. Cool. Okay, we haven't lost hardly any weight in a while. Time to drop our calories again, squeeze as much weight loss as possible out of that amount of calories until our metabolism adapts again because it doesn't need as much food anymore. And then we drop it again, and we do that, and we do that, and we do that, and we do that until we get to a point where it's not healthy or safe to like drop our calories any further. And then we build them back up with like a reverse diet. Kind of in the same concept, right? Where you hit a goal weight or you're at a weight where your calories can't go any lower. Cool. Eat higher amount of calories at a lower amount. Like, we're not just going to jack it up like crazy because then you're going to gain a lot of weight really fast. Same reason why we don't drop the calories like fucking crazy, because you're going to like basically waste all of this opportunity here to, maximize the amount of food you get to eat and the amount of weight that you get to lose along the way. And so we don't want to do that big calorie drop. That's what a lot of people do. And so metabolic adaptation happens a lot faster. Right? It does. And this is not one of those scenarios where it's like somebody who's extremely overweight and they say that they're, eating like 1,000 calories or something. It's like, that's like, there's like biologically and like physically, like on a physical, like physics level, impossible. Like the law of thermodynamics, like you can't, that would be essentially like building energy out of nothing, right? I don't know about you, but I don't think that Harvard is going to try to study you anytime soon. So I think that you're okay. I don't think that's what's going on. But a lot of times people think that's the case and they just don't understand how, calories work. They don't understand maintenance calories, calorie surplus, calorie deficit. They, might not be helping themselves any by not being active, having a low muscle mass, which is interesting because a lot of times people who are severely overweight have really high metabolisms. Like you have to have a very high metabolism to keep a body that big alive, right? And so, they're consuming a lot of calories in those scenarios. And, they might not even know it or might not even realize it, but, a lot of times that's the case. And so their metabolism is not ideal in that situation because they're running into the issue of like insulin sensitivity. They're running into the issue of not having very much muscle mass and having high fat mass. The more muscle that you have, the more calories that you burn on a regular basis. Inactivity, right? A lot of those things, a lot of other health complications that can mess you up in a lot of ways. But long story short, like metabolism, everybody has one. Some people's are a little slower than others. Age is not as much of a factor as we used to think it was. It's actually the amount of like muscle mass that people lose over time and being inactive that actually causes metabolism to slow down. They found that like until you hit like the age of 65, your metabolism doesn't really slow down that much. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, so metabolism's cool. It's good for you. It's a necessity to stay alive and exist. But if you feel like your metabolism is messed up, it could be from chronically under eating. It could be, there are some scenarios where there are some underlying diseases that can kind of, exacerbate it and make it a little bit more difficult to a degree. But I've had clients that have had Hashimoto's. I've had clients with other thyroid issues. I've had clients, who had really bad, insulin sensitivity. I've had clients with diabetes. I've had people who are in their 70s lose weight and have all these other underlying conditions like that lost weight, like PCOS, another big one that gets brought up, can still 100% happen. Some cases actually it can be a benefit and cause weight loss to happen a little bit quicker because testosterone levels are higher and things like that. But that's besides the point. anybody can lose weight, right? It comes down to energy balance. It comes down to figuring out where your baseline is for your metabolism. And it comes down to, at the end of the day, understanding how nutrition works, understanding how energy balance works, understanding how your body works, and what's sustainable for you long term. So, but basically just don't crash diet, and don't like chronically overeat to the point that you get to a place where you're super unhealthy, because neither of those options are great. But metabolic adaptation, pretty sweet tool to use to help you get as much weight loss as possible while still eating as much food as possible. But then also on the flip side, when you get to that lower amount, like I said earlier, being able to build it back up and stay at a lower weight for the most part. You might gain like 5 pounds within a window or something like that if you do it right. But my client, who again 130, 3,500 calories, eating vastly more food on a daily basis than what she was whenever she was maintaining at like 230, 240. So it is definitely possible, if you know what you're doing. If you have any other questions after watching this long ass video that I made, I'm a talker, let me know, because I would love to help answer those questions for you. And I appreciate this question right here, and I'll talk to you guys.